How's it going, guys, and welcome to another First Impressions video. In this video we're going to be tackling Grow Up, the sequel to the kind of surprise indie hit of, I think it was last year, Grow Home, which was a very kind of strange meditative game which involved procedural animations and climbing around and making a plant grow into the sky. And despite not having a huge amount of challenge in its gameplay, it was actually really fun and meditative. And this is another game which has come out, but completely by surprise, just like the last one, with no warning. At least, as far as I can tell. I never heard it was coming out, really, until about 2 days before it did. And so I thought that I'd have just a blind first impressions try of it to see what it's like. Because, of course, the big challenge with a game like this is it's so unique. Can it be done again and still work? Because it really worked well, I think, for the first one. But it might be the kind of thing that if you repeat it, it's just really boring. So let's see if they do something new with it. So we're flying through an asteroid field. That's the thing. The last game didn't really have this cinematic scale of events. It didn't really as such have a a story either. It was just a crazy thing. But oh look, here's a thing I'm instantly noticing. We've got a spherical planet now, and that's awesome. That is quite awesome. So yeah, it's looking pretty interesting now, because this is like, if we just have free roam on this planet. But now I hope this music isn't too loud, because I've set the settings down, but it's always difficult to tell with these games. Okay, so I've got control. Yeah, so my main concern is if they don't have more dynamic kind of objectives, it might end up being kind of not very interesting to many people. But yeah, it's just simply like left click and right click, and you just climb like this, and so it actually plays exactly the same as the previous game. The animations look like they haven't really changed. The graphics look identical. In many ways, it looks like it could actually be a DLC for the original game. We've got some interesting little glowing effects on these mushrooms here, and that's new. And in the last game, kind of one of the objectives was to collect these. Basically, it was an item collection game. Hold, eat, skip. Booting planetary observation droid. Boot complete. Pod. Oh, hello. Do you like planets? I am Pod. I like planets and optics and orbits. Loads of things. Okay. So we can now access pod view. This is a new thing. Oh, okay, so this gives us kind of a way to look around. Maybe to check for things we might have missed in an area. Or to kind of look where to go next. Okay, that's cool. This is something the game actually could do with quite well. I know what that is. It's called a tub. A protective canister that stores equipment. Yeah, these are basically the, these were the checkpoints. So, okay, so that's a thing. We now have got a little kind of tacit objective here. So maybe this game's going to have more direction to it. Anyway, let's get over to this guy. Mum must have dropped this. Oh, Mum, that was a terrible crash. Sniff. Yeah, the main robot that you're working for is called Mum. A floor deck scans, records, and produces the... Okay, yeah. It makes seeds, basically. It's pretty much the Floor Dex 2000, but in a nicer case. So there is kind of a little element of Pokemon to this, in that you can kind of... Not that you catch things, but you go around like scanning things. So let's get over here. Now, how do I scan you? Is there a special way I have to do this? Oh, I have to grab and press E. Ah, yeah, here we are. A Champaline, springform fungus. Useful for jumping and good sauteed. Served on toast, apparently. Oh, and now we can throw a seed of it. Oh, that's wonderful. That's absolutely awesome. Oh, okay, okay. I'm feeling pretty positive about this now. So we can actually change the environment. That's huge. That is absolutely huge. I can see that coming into a game like this quite a lot. Okay, let's grab you and give you a scan. I know there's a thing up there we're supposed to get, but I want to grab you. Can I scan you? It doesn't actually seem like I can actually scan you. Okay. That's alright. That's alright. Oh, look at you! Aww. Oh, poor guy. I sent him flying. Okay, so let's get up there and get that crystal. So, getting the crystals in the last game kind of improved our powers. So let's see if it will do now. Crystals help power your systems, like breakfast cereal, but harder to chew. Yeah, so far I'm actually really enjoying this. It's already got features that are making me feel like it's fresh. That's really, really good. I will admit, I kind of came into this feeling like it might be a little bit samey. And, okay, the graphics are the same, basically. The music's had a bit of an improvement. It's got that same really nice, odd, relaxing atmosphere that I got from the original. And it seems to be giving us a little bit more of a tutorial than last time. Okay, so let's use this fluoroform to reach up there. We only have to reach the bottom. So this is actually, I am going to say right now, I feel really positive about this. Of course, in the next 20 minutes, that might change, of course. But so far, a tentative yes to this game. I will point out, it's currently coming in at €9.99. I don't know, that's most likely going to be like $9.99. It seems to be like they copy a lot of the prices over, which kind of means Euro people would charge a little bit higher, but that's okay. You might end up paying about $12, but I can't imagine you'll pay much more than $10 for this game. But yeah, it's €10. The last game, which was, as far as I can tell, you know, much smaller and more basic, was $6.99. So far, I'm actually feeling like that's actually a pretty decent price for this game. It's not much to ask for. We've got to kind of grab onto these guys. Oops. And, I'm having a little bit of trouble with jumping here, but I think that's just me being really clumsy. I really don't think I can blame that on the game. Let's pull you out. I'm getting used to the gravity being really, really, really low. But yeah, so far, I'm feeling like it's a pretty good price range. I'm feeling pretty good about the apparent features it's added. Of course, there's most likely going to be a lot more, and... Oh, okay, so we've already unlocked the jetpack. That's pretty interesting, because previously it actually took a while to get that. Okay, awesome. Okay, so actually, you know, the gameplay is actually ramping up pretty quick right now. Let's shoot over here and see what this guy's got to say. Let's see what Pod's got to say. That's a star plant. I don't know how I know this, but you need to grow it and climb it. Yeah, see, the star plants are kind of the core aspect of these games so far. But there's something up here. Okay, so access pod view. And so this is our next thing. We've got to get... It's a piece of our ship. A piece of mum. Okay, so it looks like the objective of this game is going to be kind of maybe recovering bits of the ship and putting it back together. I'm keeping track of everything you find. Press E. Okay, cool. So we've got a lot of challenges and crystals. Challenges new. That's quite cool. Abilities. Awesome. Let's find the ship parts, get to Mum, and save Mum. Okay, so I think that's the objective of the game now. So we can establish a waypoint. That's good. With it being spherical, I can see it being really easy to get lost. So, well, with the world being spherical. So that's a good thing. So yeah, yeah, honestly, I'm so far pretty blown away. Let's go over here and get this crystal. It looks like a big one. Is it going to be worth more than one? Okay, just that. Okay, cool. That's cool. Okay, so we've got to get up there. And if I was pressed, I'd say that there'll be a star plant somewhere down here that we can hopefully use. Oh, we have a beacon. Whoa! Teleporters are activated by messing with those clamp things. So let's activate this teleporter. So yeah, the gameplay is actually it's pretty basic in this game, and well, this game seems to be a bit more complicated. Maybe I'll swallow my mouth on that, but it is very, very harmonious, and that is to say that there is no wasted gameplay in this. There are no mini games that aren't part of the core gameplay. Everything is part of the main concept of the game. Everything ties into the gameplay. It's one of the most well-designed, unified gaming concepts I have ever come across. Whoop. So now we can grow those. Let's press E to open the seed panel. Fungus, part of the catapoid family of terraforms that throw things. That's disgusting. It's like a tongue or something. Ugh. Now I know what a tongue is. I guess if you were a robot who had any sensibility of what was disgusting and what was not disgusting, a tongue would be pretty high up that list. Okay, so let's see if we can catapult ourselves up there. That's not going to be angled right. If I do it this way. Whee! Okay, that's not going to throw us very far, though, is it? Okay. So what I'm going to do now is just adventure onwards until I discover something, oh, a new floriform. Maybe I should, yeah, in a minute I'm going to kind of adventure onwards until I discover something more interesting and, you know, cut a little bit of stuff out because, you know, it might be a first impression, but there's no need for you to do absolutely no editing at all. A sturdy tall floriform that should support your weight while climbing. Okay, cool. So that's good for just getting a little bit more height. But what we really want is the star plant that connects to that rock up there. See, that rock is like yellow. Ooh, we are flying. And what that tells me is that it wants to have a star plant grow into it. Because in the previous game, they acted like food for the star plants. And maybe I'm just being really dense. He said something about it about a star plant back before, but I didn't really see it anywhere, so I wasn't sure. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is just wander around a bit and find a star plant or something to do, and I'll be back to you. See you in a minute, guys. Aha, guys, I found the star plant. Okay. So these guys, you need to hold on to them and press E, and they start growing, and you have to steer them as they grow through the air and make them hit the rock, and then they feed like the main plant, and it starts growing up and producing more shoots that we can grow out. And there's kind of like a meta game of making the plant get as big as possible, and I suppose in the original game, that was the only objective. You just had to make this get as big as possible. But I suppose now in the in this game, we have to do that and get the parts. So it's basically just an upscaling of the original game. Which in many ways is a good thing, because all I felt was negative about the original game was it was a little bit sparse in places. That's all. And that was, I think, mainly because it was more of a test of concept than anything else. And that's one of the reasons why it was so cheap. And it was kind of like advertised as, hey, this is kind of like a test of concept, like more than anything else. You know, we've slung a game into it, but really, you know, it's just an idea. And now they seem to be, like, I'd say this is what they had wanted to do with it originally, or at least something more like this, but they weren't sure if people would like it. But Grow Home was, it had a really positive response as far as I was aware. Everyone that I communicated with about it was really, really happy about it. So, yeah, I would say now they're like, well, this is popular. That, you know, they're going to keep on doing it. And I'd say that's a really, really good thing. Okay, just a moment. This is climbing up here is going to be a little bit slow, so I'm gonna cut this out too, just while I climb up here. See you in a second, guys. Okay, guys, here I am. Time to grow another one of these little stems. Let's grow the plant straight into the rock, and you can see here actually, the plant's already 50 meters out of 750. I wonder if this plant is going to stop at 750 or will be at the next milestone, because the last game, yeah, I think it went up several kilometers. Okay, so here we are, and Pod's here again. I wonder what he's got to say. I'm going to steal a crystal. And, whoops. I want to grab one of these. Can I can't scan you. You're not a functional thing. And let's get this place working. I don't think Pod's actually here to do anything this time. I think he's just watching me. He's being a creepy little perv like that. Flying, little floating robot watching me do my things. Okay. Let's get in here. Tap in the air to open air brakes. Okay, cool. If you're ever falling, this will help. Okay, so it's like a parachute basically. So if we're gonna hop over here and we fall and we're going we can do that, and it'll just stop us falling really quick. Okay, that's useful. Although I don't think there's actually fall damage as such in this game. At least there wasn't in the last one. It's just falling would cost you all the time it took you to get high where you were before. Oh yeah, I should mention that the crazy thing about this game and its prequel is it's made and developed by Ubisoft, which is crazy because in the past Ubisoft have, shall we say, not exactly been the most adventurous games company in the world, and yet here we are. The only with this and the game before it being just a crazy step. It's almost like an indie game. It feels like an indie game with polish. And I just never would have pegged Ubisoft to be the people to do that. You know? I wouldn't have been surprised if, let's say, Gearbox had tried to do something crazy, because they seem to like doing weird stuff. But Ubisoft, I wouldn't have pegged as being those guys. I don't know. It's just taking me by surprise. And it's a good kind of surprise. The only thing I can really say myself is about this, in the slight negative, is that the climbing seems to be a little bit more jerky than the previous one. Like here, you can see it's a little bit wobbly, but maybe it's no different, and it's just the old rose-tinted spectacles syndrome. What I can say is, while I was climbing up there, I checked the Steam forums, and currently the reviews are 84% positive, and every single one of the negative reviews are people talking about bugs. Apparently there are a few game-breaking bugs for some people that cause it to crash in instances where you're falling and when you do things like use the aero brakes. So, it's not an entirely bugless release. Some people, it would seem, are experiencing the bugs, but if it's 15% of people, you might be fairly safe in expecting the bugs to not hit you too hard. Oh no! Oh no, I'm falling! Okay. Let's deploy the air brakes. And bring the camera in. And see, that is what losing in Grow Home is like. Because there's not really a death state. There's not really a failure state in the game exactly. There's falling and having to climb again. That is really the situation. But yeah, there are a few bugs, so be aware of that before you purchase. But I would be very surprised, considering how polished the final version of the last Grow Home game, the last Grow game was, that I'd be so very surprised if they don't fix those bugs at some point. The game has been out for a day at the time of me recording this, so I would be really surprised if things are not fixed. So I myself would actually not tell you to hesitate at all in buying it, because it's only a tenner, and the last game which was smaller than this game. I can already see this game is a lot bigger in scope. And the last one offered me so much more than its money's worth that I would be very surprised if people were not happy with this. Oh, I hear a beeping. Oh, there is some kind of thing over there. Okay, so let's find where's the next bud on this. Let's just go over to this one. Let's create a crazy twisted tree that goes all over the place. Okay. So let's go up. Let's ram into this mushroom and see what happens. Boom. Take that, mushroom. Oh, I decapitated it. Awesome. Okay, so here we are. Oh, yeah, okay, that's useful. It's a save station. Okay, so, oh, look, see, despite the graphics being really simple, I actually really like its art style. And, like, right now, this is the most important thing when you're doing a first impressions video. I'm kind of feeling like, okay, there's not a whole lot more for me to show you guys right now. It's basically going to be this. The basic gameplay is climbing around, jumping around, finding things to progress the kind of pretty minimal plot, and enjoying the process. It's almost pure gameplay game. And it's basically a really, really quirky platform puzzle game, I would say, if I was going to put it in a genre. But the main thing about a first impressions video is that here I am, running maybe a little bit short on things to say, but I don't want to stop playing. I don't want to end the video because I want to keep on playing. So what I'm going to try and do is I'm going to try and get over here, and let's make it our little goal for this video. See if we can reach that island up there, because I think we can do it pretty quickly with just a few of those buds. I think in about 5 minutes we can be up there if we do it well. And I don't want to stop playing, and that's the main thing. Like it's been sitting here, and I don't want to put it down. I want to keep on going. That is the best sign of a game, you know. Especially as seeing as I've normally, you know, I'm not a huge player of these kinds of games. Like the indie platformers, I don't play them much, but the Grow games just seem to captivate me. And when you can get, like a non-genre fanatic to be this into a game... What is that noise? There's a weird noise nearby, and it sounds like a bee of some kind. Oh, there he is. Ah, cool. Okay, so let's take this up. So yeah, when you can get a non-genre fanatic, someone who's traditionally not like I love like Mario platformers and things like that, but I'm not a huge player of them. When you can get someone who's not like hugely into a genre to get obsessed with a game, that is when you know that you've done well. Okay, so it's aero brake and all pro skills. And I just have a feeling this is going to be another success. And what I'm most likely going to do is do a review of this once I've played more of it. Hopefully completed it, because while I'm not setting it as an absolute rule, my reviews, I'm going to try to beat the games that I review, because I think that should be a rule of thumb. Unless it's a game which is unfeasibly long, or a game with no actual ending. Right, so where are we going? Over here. Cool. So yeah, I think I'm probably going to do a review of this, just to, you know, have a kind of second chance to tell you guys what I think about it. Because, of course, you know, it might get really samey. In which case, you know, there'd be no point in you buying a new one. Just buy the old one. But I don't think that's going to be the case. Let's see if I can get up the hill. Okay, so I think I've got to weigh you down. Have I? Yeah, I think I do have to, but I'm not sure what I've got to do with you. Okay, so let's... There we go. So let's get off here. And he's going to haul this guy up, I think. Oh, look at that. Tiny little guy lifting his huge lump of metal. That's ridiculous. Okay. Pod, you found me. And you fatangled one of my flibbles? Oh my, it seems my language database has been jellied. Please find other flubblies. I have great melon in you both. Okay. She has great melon in us. That's good to know. Okay, so we've got the first component up to the moon, and we've got a lovely little backdrop of the rest of the planet. I spy another ability tub. Either that, or it's a weird metal floriform. Okay. But I think that's enough for a first impressions video. I am calling it here, guys, and my final thoughts are that this game, so far, feels really, really fun. It feels just like the original one, but better. And it's not much more. It's only $9.99 as opposed to $6.99. And honestly, given the added scope, I think that's entirely justified. I think it's well worth your cash. And if you're all into these kind of quirky games, or kind of relaxing games, if you like to play something that just lets you relax, especially, I love playing the original one with audiobooks. It was really great of that. If you like any of that kind of stuff, I would really recommend getting this. You know, and even then, you know, Steam has the refund system. So, you know, is any purchase really all that dangerous these days on Steam? I don't know. But yeah, I thoroughly recommend this, guys, to any kind of person who's interested in kind of exploration or kind of indie games in general or platformers. I seriously recommend it, guys. I hope you've enjoyed the video. I'll do a review on it, I expect, once I've played more. And I'll see you later. Bye, guys.